Right. Good evening, millionaire students. I hope you guys have had an amazing week since last Tuesday. This is week 3, the evolution of you, with the author of the book, The Millionaire Student, Sashin, Govender. I hope you've got your pen and notebooks ready, because once again, this is going to be absolutely explosive. Ending off this call, please note this call will only be released a week from now. So you want to be able to add everybody which is buying the book to the group, so that we can get them up to date with the last 3 weeks, and obviously get them completely evolved into their new space that they're going to. So Sashin has just jumped on. Sash, can you hear me?
Sal, I can hear you clearly.
Awesome, Sash. Over to you. Have a blessed evening.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Just setting up here quickly before I can put the camera on. Hope you guys are good and blessed and ready for week number 3. And we're going to be talking about, last week, put the camera. So last week we talked a bit about, chess. Checkmate is just the beginning. The week before that, we talked about the evolution of you, and I really didn't talk about the journey because I felt like that was more of my story, and I don't want to elaborate too much on that. So today we're going to be talking about the catalyst, the day I turned it on, the day I flipped that switch, the day I literally went out there and made that decision to go out there and do what I needed to do. So I want to make it I'm going to talk for a little while, for like at least 10 to 15 minutes. And then I want to be able to open up the lines and have a Q&A. So if you have questions on this, well, the first three chapters of the book, but most importantly, if you have any questions over and above that, I'll gladly get that answered for you. So in the Q&A bar, if you can quickly type out your question throughout my entire 10, 15 minutes I'm going to be talking. And feel free to even send it privately to me if you don't want anyone else to see it. I'll gladly get that answered. So the day I turned it on, the day I flipped the switch, and I say catalyst because I want you to understand a catalyst is a whole different breed. A catalyst is someone who's a change maker. A catalyst is someone or something that basically leaves a mark. I mean, you take your hand, you put on the catalyst, literally, the cactus is going to go out there and go out there and poke you. So I took that from the word cactus and I turned it into catalyst and take it to the next level. But also at the same time, the day I turned it on, guys, it took me around about 3 years to make a real decision. A real decision. I mean, it takes people several years to make that real decision on what they want in life. For me, why did it take me 3 years? Because if you look at your eyelashes, most people can't see beyond their eyelashes in life. And for me, I could not see beyond my eyelashes. I could only see the next level. I could only see so for example, when I was 18 years old, all I could see is a BMW. I couldn't see the big money. I couldn't see everything in life. You sort of look at a glass out there. Most people look at a glass or cup and they see the cup half empty rather than half full. And you got to understand, when you can only see, you can't go beyond your eyelashes. You can only go to the limit of your eyelashes. You've got to be able to sharpen that vision. And one step closer to your goals and your dreams and your aspirations allows you to have clearer vision. I want you to play that game of Hansel and Gretel, where you're throwing down breadcrumbs on your way to the final goal, the final result, the end product. And so if you get lost, you can come back down the path and make a U-turn, because we all have 2 choices in life. Do we take the path of darkness, or do we take the path of light? If you take the path of darkness and you're throwing down that little breadcrumbs, you can make a U-turn even if you're halfway through and come back. So I need you to understand that the day I turned it on will be very different for the day that you turned it on. We're different people out there. The day you turn it on is very different to your significant other or your child or your mom or your dad, the day they made that switch. But sometimes you're so pissed off for greatness. You're so pissed off for greatness that you got two choices. You pissed on or you pissed off. You're pissed off because you can see other people do things that you thought you could do. Or you see other people who you know and you play the comparison game. And you compare yourself to them, and comparison leads to expectation. Expectation leads to disappointment. So at the end of the day, you've got to be able to stop comparing yourself to other people, but you also got to understand we're all running our own journey and our own race. And the day I turned it on will always be different to the day that you turned it on in life. So I turned it on 3 years into my career because it flipped for me. When I made $10,000, I couldn't see 100,000. When I made 100,000, I couldn't see 1,000,000. When I made 1,000,000, I realized, hold on, this game is very simple. It's just about adding commas and zeros. That's all it's about. And if you understand a formula, then you're going to take that formula and literally go out there and double, triple, quadruple it, or do more of it. So the day I turned it on, I just realized, if Edison can go out there and keep flipping the switch, and eventually there'll be a light. If the Wright brothers can keep sticking two plates together and try flying across an ocean, and eventually, there's planes around the world, well, guess what? It is possible that it's going to happen in due time. If you stick long enough, if you stay long enough and you stick long enough through to the course, you're gonna succeed. And guys, you hear me say certain things over and over and over and over again. But the difference is, it's not about what I say, it's about how you hear it. Certain times, most people aren't ready for the next level. So when you're not ready for the next level, then you truly don't absorb the information. It comes into 1 year and it literally goes throughout the next one. So you want to be able to understand that when you're ready to hear the right words, there's no secret recipe to make this or bake this cake called success. There's no secret, path or cheat code like you can enter it in those games where you can go on Google and type in cheat codes and you get a code and you type it into your PlayStation and eventually advance to the next level. There's nothing along that line. It's all about flipping that switch, making the decision to burn the bridge between who you were, who you are, and who you truly deserve to be. So when I look at the the day I turned it on, for me, at the end of the day, I was going through a part of my own journey to make that switch. I was pissed on because I could see other people winning and I knew it was my turn, but I just didn't know when. I wasn't pissed off when you're sitting there and playing the comparison game on why they're winning and why you're not. I schooled with them, and if that's the way of life, there's probably about plus minus 60 people right now in my grade in high school that's sitting here, is he winning and I'm not winning? And they all set themselves down the lane for failure. I'm watching where the world's at right now. I'm looking at everything that's happening right now around our globe. I'm looking at the economy. I'm looking at the companies that are shutting down. Can you believe it? A simple brand like Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is one of the biggest brands out there. Women's underwear. It's about to file for bankruptcy. You look at someone like an Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest men out there in the world, on the Forbes list, born and raised in Pretoria. Here's someone who's selling both his houses because he understands when he sells it today, he's going to buy back 1-2 years from today. And you got to make that switch. And then you got to flip the switch. Some people, the switch does not even exist in your head. It doesn't even exist in life. It exists in some other people's lives, but it doesn't exist because consciously, every single day you go to the wall and you flip. You don't even realize the amount of power, the creation, the evolution of that switch, how it triggers out to a light. You don't even realize that. And today with technology, we're moving forward. where you can control everything from your phone. A click of a finger, boom, the lights are on, the lights are off, garage is open, car stops. And you right here in a world where you're still trying to find that switch. Guys, all it takes is you making the decision to go out there and flip the switch. So I turned it on when I understood what was in here. I understood what was in my mind. I understood what was in this mind right here. And when I turned it on and I realized what the power of this right here, the power of what you have in your mind, it changes the game. No one can stop you. Nothing. No obstacle, no person, no recession, nothing can stop what's in this mind. This right here is your biggest asset. It's not your car, it's not your home. So some people have been reading this book, but they've been reading it by just moving through the book. They haven't been absorbing it. And I guarantee you, a year from today, when you read the book again, the way you read it is very different to the way you're reading it today, because you're going to be a different person. You own the rights to your own copy. You own the rights to your own copy. I got people winning on a high level right now. And the reason why they're winning on a high level is because they flipped the switch unconsciously. They did not care about anything else besides the moment right now, the conscious mind. They didn't care about the subconscious. They didn't care about who, what, where, how. The only thing they focused on is, I'm going to make a decision right now. I'm going to start doing the right things in life. I'm going to start listening to the right audios, watching the right videos, reading the right books, and taking action immediately. And that's all it takes. There's no perfect book, but there's a perfect phase in your life when you read that book. There's no perfect video, but there's a perfect moment in your life that you seek that video. There's no perfect inspirational quote, but when you read something and you're in that right zone, it changes the game. So I want to be able to answer as much as possible. So here's a question. How do we get good at sharpening our vision? Okay. How do we get good at sharpening our vision? Firstly, you need to understand, what is your vision? What do you want to become? What do you want to achieve? What is that light at the end of the tunnel? When you get good at knowing what it is and you got the clarity, then all you need to do is you take your vision and you put the pieces of the puzzle together. You put the pieces of the puzzle together. Because when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you start to understand that putting the piece of the puzzle together, you finally have this entire picture. I watched a short clip of someone painting. They had the board up and they had the guy stood behind the board with a blindfold, and he was literally painting a picture from the front like this. And guess what? It was a piece of art. How did he have that vision to see how it was going to look? See, certain people in life, they work backwards. And A students in maths, they used to work backwards. They used to take an equation and they used to dissect that equation, and they used to work backwards, and there were certain formulas and how you work forward and then you work backwards to check if it was 100% correct. But you got to understand something. That's a visionary, but a visionary academically, or visionary in their maths classroom. But visionary in life is very different. So how do you sharpen your visionary skills? You've got to be able to pull out a whiteboard. I got a whiteboard here, by the way. Everywhere I go, I got a whiteboard. So I got a whiteboard in my room. I got a whiteboard in my office. I got a whiteboard in my studio. And I'm always got a whiteboard, and I got some markers. And I'm literally just drawing up the vision. You take your pen and you draw. I'm not asking you to sketch. I'm not asking you to be the professional artist. I'm asking you to take a pen or take a marker and start drawing. What do you want? Answer your own questions. Who do you want to be? Guys, when I write on my mailing list for the week, you know what I do? I already have my topics out. Yesterday, I wrote the whole week out and I already have my plan of action and I have everything dialed out. So where am I going with this? To only sharpen your visionary skills is a few things. Let me break it down. Number one, you need to be able to work backwards in life. Backwards meaning go from the vision and then work your way back to where you are. And now that you know how to get there, go get it done. Okay, so I got this little drink right here. It's a chocolate milkshake. It's a protein shake, and it's my meal replacement. So very simple. Let's work backwards. It was full. I need to drink the thing. That's how I got here right now. Well, it was empty at one point before I filled it up. So I'm working backwards. It was clean. It was empty. Now it's full, and now I'm gonna sip it and literally finish it off. Let's work backwards again. How did the pen come around? Firstly, they put the ink inside, and then they obviously put it together like a piece of a puzzle. How did this sanitizer to clean my laptop screen come about? You think they miraculously decided to create the bottle first and then go and inject all the fluid inside? No, they didn't do that. They knew what they were doing. Okay? They completed the top. They put everything inside, and then they go out and screw this thing on. Well, very simple. It's multiple things out there. And you got to work backwards in life. Too many people are trying to work forward in life, but they don't know where they're going. They don't know. They don't have a vision. They don't have a vision. So when you don't have a vision, you can only catch yourself running around aimlessly. The second thing is you've got to be able to go out there and have a plan of action. And taking you back to chapter number 2 of chess, a plan of action, meaning I know what step 1 is up until step 15. I know what I'm going to do for the next 14 days. I know what I'm going to do for the next 7 days. Too many people don't have a plan, and they're not tracking down the numbers. They're not tracking down their goals. They're not keeping themselves accountable. Accountability. Remember that word. Accountability leads to you going out there. You're delegating first, and you're keeping yourself accountable. You're giving yourself tasks, and you're keeping yourself accountable. So that's the second thing. The third thing is I want you to understand, fail. You've got to fail. You've got to be able to fail. If you're not failing, you'll never sharpen your axe to chop down the tree. So you take it, if I gave you a tree right now, and I gave you an axe, and I said, guys, you have 1 year to chop. Let's make it 3 years to chop down this tree. I know what most people would do. You'd start right now. You'd go there to the tree and you'll try chopping it down. By the third or fourth day, you realize, hold on, this is a waste of time. I'm not going to focus on this. The smarter person would rather sharpen his axe for 1 year and chop the tree down in 1 day than going out there and trying to chop a tree down with a blunt axe. What are you doing? I need you to fail your way. So you sharpen your saw, you sharpen your axe, you sharpen your skills, you sharpen your visionary skills to make it clearer. Guys, if you can't see clear, what do? You put glasses on. If you don't have a crystal clear vision, open your eyes, sharpen it. Sharpen it by go out there and keep watching those videos. Don't just become don't become a personal development junkie who studies every single video. They know every single quote, but they don't know how to execute immediately. You've got to be able to execute immediately after you realize what you want, who you want to become, and how you want to make it. So I hope that answers that question. Another question is it a good time to buy a house? Well, personally, I can only give you my opinion on what I personally believe. I wouldn't be buying a house right now. Right now, as we speak, I would not be buying. I mean, it's a good time if you want to buy. It's better than yesterday. It's better than last week. It's better than last year, but it's going to get worse. So is it a good time to buy your house? I think it's a good time to get liquid right now. I think it's a good time to stack up your cash. Stash your cash. That's what I think it is. And I believe it is because if it's a good time right now, well, then I believe let's give it 6 months. Because the minute this coronavirus is over, the minute the coronavirus pandemic is over, immediately after that becomes a declared recession, a public declared recession. Watch what happens. Every new media house, every single radio station, TV station, front page will declare the media will declare a recession. They'll sell the recession. People will go in panic mode. When they go in panic mode, people can't go out there and think much bigger, much faster, much sooner. So you know what they do? They don't know how to save. They don't know how to spend. They don't know how to invest. They panic and they lose what they have. You'll see cars and houses going for 50% less. You'll be able to scoop houses for prices you never even fathomed, never even thought would be. I mean, I believe a lot of people who took a bond, and I told a lot of people, I told them 2 years ago, don't buy what you can't afford cash. If you don't have money in your bank account, cash to buy something, don't waste your time buying it. Why? Because it's going to come a point where you can't pay that overhead on a monthly basis. And all it takes is 3 to 4 months or even 5 months to forfeit those payments, those debit orders. They're going to attach everything. They're going to sell it to people like myself and other people who have cash to go buy it cash. It's sad, but it's uneducated people who try to look educated, to live over their means, not under their means, have things that they can't afford to impress people they don't even like or people who don't even like them. So you've got to be able to look at it from that point of view. Right now, it's the best time to get liquid, save up as much as you can, lower your expenses, drop your expenses, live under your means. Because I'm telling you, if you have liquid cash, a lot of people ask me, Sashin, I've got 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, what should I do? Go make more money. Don't spend the money you have. Go make more money. Watch things become dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. I'm not talking about food prices and all of that. I'm talking about assets. I'm talking about stuff that could have been worth R1 million, but now going for R500,000. I'm talking about things that's R500,000 that's probably going to go for like 100, 200,000 rand. The world's going to be in a big sale. You know, Black Friday, it's going to be black every day. Mark my words. Watch what happens. It's a sale all day, every day. When you understand you're at your lowest low. When you're at your lowest low, you can't afford it. Crime rate's going to go up through the roof. People aren't educated from a personal development level. They will never sustain it. So basically, the suicide rate's going to go through the roof. Bankruptcy is going to go through the roof. Multi-millionaires and billionaires are going to go to middle class and lower class if they don't know how to scale their business online. People online are going to go from lower class to peak, high. Look at the owner of Zoom. Became a billionaire in a matter of weeks. Look at the owner of TikTok. Became a billionaire in a matter of weeks. Young guys in their 20s. Why? Because they only knew online. They're risk takers. They're not holding on to any past or not holding on to anything that's pulling them down because they got to go the traditional route. All these traditional entrepreneurs are going to take a big knock, a huge knock. Hey, Sashin, my children are now reading the book with me and they've been playing chess before now. They want to get better. I've never played chess. The best thing you could do is literally just go out there, go to Google and type in how to play chess. Self-teach yourself. Self-education, self-development, self-taught. That's the best way right now. I'd go download chess games if you have to. Now remember something, if you learn how to play chess, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to become a millionaire overnight. It means you're going to learn the skills that you still need to apply. I'm just teaching you all these different things that's going to help you shape and form the person you truly want to become to get what you desire in life. How do you get so oiled and driven daily? Guys, I also have my negative days. I also have my days of me being bleak. I also have my days where, I'm not motivated, but I got to wake up, put on my tracksuit or put on a t-shirt and decide to work today. It's not that I'm oiled and driven. It's the fact that I'm on the 6th gear on this car right now. I've done it long enough. There is some cars that have 6 gears, some cars that are even more than that. I'm on my 6th gear right now. Some people are only on their 1st or 2nd gear. They can't move it out for the 1st or 2nd gear. Some people aren't even in the gear game yet. So you want to be able to understand this is right now. I've been working on my craft for 18 years. 18 years mentally. I've been working on my craft. So all you're seeing is the final end result and the picture of who I am, not the days where I'm sitting behind this camera and where, it's not as polished as it looks today. There's a lot of groundwork and I'm always working on me. I go through my negative modes too. I go through my situations where I got to process problems on a daily basis. I go through my times where, I got to make stressful decisions, but nothing's big enough to take me out the game because I realize one thing, I can't lose something I've never had. 8 years ago, 18 years ago, I never had all of these. I never had it, so I'm not attached to it. But I had to learn through life lessons. So how do you get so oiled and driven? You've got to work on this. People underestimate this. You know what they want to do? They want to work in their brain. They want to go study, rewrite, remember, rewrite. That's all they want to do. I got so oiled here. I worked on my mind, my biggest asset out there. Biggest asset in the world. Kept telling people, have no limit on how much you spend on personal development. Have no limit on how much you spend on personal development. You know what they did? They did the total opposite. They listened to me and said, have no limit on my lifestyle. Have no limit at eating at fancy restaurants. Have no limit at buying fancy cars. Have no limit at this and that and going out on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kept telling people, have no limit on personal development. Keep studying, keep researching. There's no time limit. People don't listen, man. You got to be able to understand the book you're reading right now. I should charge you $500 for that. It's a written, it's words versus a video. If I saw that in a video course and I spoke for hours on that, that's a $500, $1,000 course. You gotta be able to study, research, learn, read. Go bigger than who you are right now. Think bigger. How can a 16-year-old become the millionaire student and maintain the ultimate lifestyle? Well, firstly, you're already a millionaire student. You're already a millionaire student. If you bought the book, if you bought Virtual Upline Mentor, if you bought Business Mastery, if you bought whatever, you're already a millionaire student. If you've subscribed to my mailing list where I get sent out a mail every morning at 9 a.m., you're already a millionaire student. You're just not a millionaire yet, but you're a student becoming a millionaire. Maintaining an ultimate lifestyle, you're at the perfect age. You're ahead of every single 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old listening to me right now. You're 16 years old. You're 16 years old and you're ahead of everyone else. Every parent right now wants you to be their kid listening to what you're listening right now. Every single parent on this call right now is expecting that their 16-year-old child is doing what you're doing right now. Not TikTok, not Facebook, not Instagram. I was telling my sister today, I jump onto Instagram and Facebook just to post and get off. I don't read anyone else's stuff. I jump on because you know why? Instagram, I spend a bit of time because I'm following the right people. Facebook, I get on just because I got my team pages, congratulate a few people and get off. I don't go out there to waste 30, 40, 50 minutes of my time. 16-year-old kid, you're ahead of everyone else right now. I wish I was you and I had access to me at 16 years old. Right now, the 26-year-old version of me, 10 years ago, I wish I had access to that. You're ahead of everyone else right now. Every single parent wants to have you as their kid. But don't let it get to your head because you still got to do something about it. You got to do something about it. There's no fluff about the personal development. You got to put it to work. There's no point about owning a Ferrari but not having an engine in the car. Where are you going to drive it to? Or owning a car but you don't have the license to get into the car and drive it. It means absolutely nothing. Another question, when is the best time to move into coal market? Today, right now. The reason why you asked me that question is because you're scared. You're scared that they're going to reject you. You should always be recruiting everyone you see and anyone that walks across you, anyone that can breathe, anyone that can talk, you recruit them. I don't care who they are or what they do for a living. I don't care if they're Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. You recruit them. You recruit them. If you sat in a plane, economy, middle seat, Warren Buffett on your left, Richard Branson on your right, economy, these two guys, you did not know who they were. Would you recruit them? Well, only when you knew who they were, then your walls, the objections, the limiting beliefs popped up. Every single person, I made more money sitting in economy than business class and first class. I'm going to repeat that. I made more money in economy than business class and first class. Because when I flew economy, I recruited everyone I could speak to. When I flew business class, I just sit in my cabin, in my small seat, and my seat was locked up, and I focused on my own lane. I spent more money in business class than I made in business class. Well, in the plane, outside the plane, I made way more because I took that picture and I made a ton of money off it. How can we program our subconscious mind? How can we program our subconscious mind? Go watch Becoming the Millionaire Student. It's a free 60-minute audio. Write this down, www.winwithsashin.com/BTMS. Go watch it. It's 60 minutes. I spend 60 minutes carving out the skills on personal development, carving out the how-tos, carving out what you need to do to reset this paradigm. But I want you to understand something. Take the age that you are right now and minus it by the years you've spent on personal development. So if you're 30, let's just say you're 35 years old today. You're 35 years old, but you've only been introduced to personal development for 5 years. Your subconscious mind is 30 years old of negativity. Your conscious mind is 5 years old. You got a lot of work to do. Let me do mine. I'm 26 years old, and I've been personally developed for 16 years. Sorry, let's just say 17 or 18 years. Minus that, you realize I was about 8 years old when I learned personal development. By the way, 8 years old is the best age to ever train someone on personal development, self-development. 8 years old. Take yourself back to the 8-year-old version of you. I'm going to do a webinar this week. Probably going to do it for like 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm probably going to do it Thursday. I want to do it on Wednesday or Thursday for 2 hours. 2 hours straight. Just simply taking you back to when you were 8 years old. I got a lot of preparation into it. I started working on it today. Another question. Our generation is full of haters, especially in Botswana. There's an incident with Chris Brown and William Last, which is evident of the hate that breeds in our country. What's your advice on keeping a sound mind in such an environment? Well, if I go onto my phone right now, the very first thing it asks me for is a password. If I go onto my laptop, the very first thing it asks me for is a password. My iPad, my email list, my Facebook, my whatever, it asks me for a password. Stop protecting your mind. You letting yourself distract yourself. Chris Brown does not know who you are, my friend, but you know who Chris Brown is. You've made more money for Chris Brown than he's ever made for himself. You know his songs and he doesn't know your name. You know the lyrics. When a song comes on the radio, subconsciously, you can sing it word for word. Why? Because you listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Subconsciously, it reprograms your mind to believe there's songs that I know that you know. The minute it comes on, we know how to sing it. Why? Because we heard it so many times. You learn personal development, you hear personal development over and over and over and over and over again. Guess what happens? Subconsciously, it reprograms you. You need to create your own lane. Not a lane with all these outside world people. A lane. This pandemic right now has allowed us to reset our paradigm. It reset our habits. It reset our schedule. It reset who we are. This whole thing, when it's over, if it does not reset you as a person, my friends, we have definitely got a problem. You might need to go through another pandemic, not of the coronavirus, in your own life, of whatever circumstances that need to pop up before you realize, hold on, my life is more worthy than what it is right now. Another question, is your life easier being a millionaire student? Are you feeling mindly free? Damn right. I'm the best I've ever been right now. 0% stress. 0% stress. I'm the best I've ever been. Health is best that I've ever been. I'm not even talking about my spirituality is through the roof. Best it's ever been. I don't look at the millionaire student of the word millionaire student. I look at the word student. So I'm the best I've ever been right now. My mind is truly free. It's thinking on another level right now, another frequency, another level of energy. So don't feel like, I'm on a different level, not money right now. I'm on a different level of serving. And you can see when you go on my social media and how I'm giving back to people who want what I have or what I had or what I'm going to have. But you've got to be able to understand, don't be afraid of when you have more, thinking that you need to do more. Yes, you do. I got more people on my shoulders that I need help, but that is from a point of service. It's not a point that I'm forced to do it. I don't rely on making money from selling books and selling my courses. I'm very fortunate. I'm not a personal development speaker and a coach and a mentor for money. Most of these guys, they did it for money. This is not my primary income. This is not my secondary income. But definitely it's my purpose, my passion, and what I love doing. I love helping other people. Someone asked me, can you please repeat that website? So it's www.winwithsashin.com/BTMS, Becoming the Millionaire Student. So BTMS, www.winwithsashin.com/BTMS. I sent it right now in the chat bar. Last question. We're going to wrap this thing up. What do you do when your prospects fails to have the Zoom app to get exposed to our deal? Phone them on WhatsApp. Send them to Webinar Jam. Send them a link via Webinar Jam. Phone them. There's no right way or wrong way to do this thing. There's no right way or wrong way. I've messed up and I've successfully signed up people. I've messed up and I've not signed people up. I've shown people the right way and I've still not signed people up. There's no right way and wrong way. Just keep doing it. I told you, if you do it long enough, it changes the game. It changes the game. Guys, I want to thank you for your time. I look forward to speaking to you next week. Let's go.